My name is Juan Francisco, and I'm a psychic medium and tarot card reader. I've always been curious about the supernatural, the paranormal, and psychic abilities, and I'm here to share my stories and interview folks who want to share their own stories with us. Let's get to it. So I want to talk about this thing with ladies in white, the white lady ghost. And I don't mean white lady as in it's a lady and she's a white person. I mean like a lady in a white dress. That seems to be a common thing around the world. And this is one of the episodes I want to do for the spooky season. The spooky season specials for Third Eyesight. Because it's been, I'm not going to lie, it's been kind of annoying to me. I sound so judgy right now, but that should be nothing new to people who are listening to this podcast has been listening to this podcast forever and ever. I try not to judge people or judge ideas, but I'm like, why is everyone seeing a lady in white all over the world? I don't get it. It seems to be like every haunted castle has a lady in white. Every haunted house has the white lady. And so I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to share some ideas about it. And I want to hear your ideas too, as I always say on the podcast episode. And if it's your first time listening to Third Eyesight, welcome. Happy spooky season. And let's talk about ladies in white. I'm going to pull up an article from Esquire magazine in the Philippines. It is a Filipino version of Esquire magazine, and it's titled The History of the White Lady, an International Ghost. And it describes what the white lady, the lady in white, looks like to many people who see it. And just to note that the author, the reporter, is Mario Alvaro Limos. So, the first section says, why is the white lady always tall, slim, and black-haired? And it says here that stories of the white lady are told around the world, including Europe, North America, South America, Russia, East Asia, Southeast Asia. And she always looks the same, whereas a white dress has long black hair that often covers her face. And even in Caucasian, it says here, this is a good note, why is their hair always black, even in Caucasian-dominated regions? Is this some sort of cultural appropriation among ghosts? Why is there just a white lady and not a white gentleman's ghost? And it says, tracing the history of several well-known white lady apparitions around the world, we notice something similar in each story. A beautiful lady is murdered, and years later, her ghost would haunt the place. She died in while wearing a bridal dress, or the dress she was wearing when she was buried. Her having black hair seems to be a modern depiction in movies and pop culture. And it goes into the white lady of Germany, white lady of Ireland, New York. Wait, New York. I want to hear about this. Wait a second. Let's see. I do know, actually, I wonder if this has to do with a place that I'm familiar with. There is when I did public relations work for the Finger Lakes region, there is a castle called Belhurst Castle. And it is quite beautiful. If you happen to be in that area, that region of New York State, I would highly recommend Belhurst Castle. It's really cool. And there is a legend of a white lady there. So I think, but this one, and here in this White Lady of New York section of this article, it goes into another location, not Belhurst Castle, but it has to do with Lake Ontario. Okay, White Lady in the Philippines, and that's where the article ends. I am going to read the Filipino legend. It says, unlike white lady sightings in other countries, this sounds so funny to say, white lady sightings. Unlike white lady sightings in other countries, the Filipino white lady is tied to a particular place of haunting. She can appear anywhere, although she has a particular habit of appearing at night on the side of the road near balete trees and in your car's backseat while you're driving. If she is playful, she would hail cab drivers and disappear. She is believed to be a malevolent spirit who is out to scare you to death, literally. The Filipino white lady is blamed for countless road accidents due to drivers panicking at her site. One of the most famous haunts is Balete Drive, located in New Manila, Quezon City. The pre-war residential area was considered the address of the elites and was once lined with balete trees. Countless tales of the White Lady appearing here and sometimes hailing taxi drivers contribute to the belief that balete trees are the homes of otherworldly beings. Interestingly, the White Lady in the Philippines has a more malevolent counterpart, the Black Lady. The vengeful Black Lady is dressed in all black and has long black hair, and also appears anywhere, like in your bathroom mirror or outside your window at night. Just like the White Lady, the Black Lady terrorizes drivers by appearing at night on the road. She does not hail cab drivers like the White Lady, but just appears suddenly in the backseat of a cab. End quote, or close quote. I do want to say, very importantly, that White Lady, Black Lady, those words have nothing to do with the person's skin color. It has to do with the dresses that they're wearing and their overall, I guess, aura or vibe of like light colors versus dark colors, not their skin color. So I want to really clarify that. So why do people see ladies in white? Why does this happen? And I was thinking before I hit record, maybe, I don't know, it's like when people say there are common spiritual creatures or paranormal creatures that people see. Like, I think in the Philippines, is it called the duende? Is it called the duende? Is it in the Philippines or another country? I forget. El duende. There's La Llorona, who is the lady, the what do you call it? The mourner, the female mourner, that wails in the middle of the night. There was a movie made about La Llorona. These are seem to be common spiritual experiences people have with these beings, specific types of beings. It also makes me think of sleep paralysis. I did an episode on sleep paralysis. I don't know if sleep paralysis I don't know if it's a spiritual experience, like a particularly supernatural experience, or if it's just something that our brain does to help us cope with traumas or to cope with something or to deal with something or to face something. But it's a common experience. So could we put sleep paralysis demons that all seem to be shadow people that come up and creep onto you in bed, put them in the same category of ladies in white and duendes and La Llorona? I don't know. A lot of this, listen, if it's your first time listening to Third Eyesight, a lot of what I say is I don't know. Because I ain't Jesus, I ain't God, I don't know everything. But I will say this. We know that when someone creates an idea and enough word of that idea goes around, people tend to believe it, because the more you repeat something, the more it seems true to many people. Ain't that an issue in our current day politics and society? And so if the White Lady and lady in white, I wonder if it sounds something so it's something so ethereal and so like, lady in white, but scary. That it sounds very mystifying. And so it's almost like someone sat down and said, I have an idea. What if we tell people there is a lady in white at this haunted place or this creepy old place or cemetery, and it's this beautiful but scary female that just glides over the tombstones at night or glides down the staircase in the mansion. That's very mesmerizing. That's very intriguing. And so maybe it's this idea that someone has come up with and now it's spread across the world. Or maybe someone actually saw Lady in White and people thought, wow, that sounds so mystical and so creepy. And then they started to use that as like a trope across the world. I don't know. Maybe. I just find it interesting that ladies in white are seen across the world. And if I feel like every other historic property that I read about or go to has something in their brochures, in their ghost tour information that says, and some guests see the White Lady on the staircase. And some guests see a lady in white in the garden. I'm like, well, I've heard this one before. So I'm not knocking it. Maybe there is a lady in white. It's almost like the angel of death. I don't know about the angel of death if it exists. I have no idea. But I don't feel like there is an angel of death personally, or a grim reaper. I think that the spirit world works together. God, the universe, works to help people transition. I don't believe there's a specific angel of death. I don't think there are titles on the other side. Archangels are a little different, but that's a whole other story for me. And I don't think there are formal titles on the other side. Like, you are the angel of death. We're promoting you to the angel of birth and death. So anyways, maybe it's like the angel of death. Like, we need to, we feel this need to assign roles to spirits. If not because it helps us categorize things in the way that we humans can understand, it's to add a mystical quality to whatever it is that we're experiencing. I'm thinking of how at the end of people's lives, a lot of hospice care nurses have stories of their patients seeing their loved ones towards the end of their life, as like before they're going to transition. They see their mother, they see their father, they see their husbands and wives, their partners, and people that are greeting them, waiting for them on the other side, who are going to help them transition. And they say that this experience that people have on their deathbed is to help them prepare for the transition and not be afraid. That's a very common experience. And I believe that is real and true, because I've heard these stories and they're incredible. And they're all slightly different stories, because each story has something to do, with the human being's relationship to the souls on the other side. And relationships look different person to person, right? For some people, they see their mother. For some people, they see their husband. For some people, there was one story I heard that someone saw a former boyfriend that meant a lot to them. So, I don't know. I'm way more likely to believe those stories that happen across the world than a lady in white that appears across the world. Now, I don't think it's one single lady in white appearing in different places. I just think people tend to see different ladies in white across the globe. But it's like, I don't know, it just seems so like cookie cutter. Even though it's not the same lady per se, it's just so cookie cutter. And I don't quite understand that. And I've never met anyone who has seen a lady in white personally. I've just read stories, I've seen TV shows about it, and I've read brochures. And when I was in Savannah, Georgia, here in the United States, lady in white, Belhurst Castle in the Finger Lakes region. I think it's on Cayuga Lake. Not Seneca, Cayuga Lake, I think. Lady in white. Where else have I been? I don't know. I'm sure I've been somewhere else in the United States on a ghost tour or paranormal investigation where there's a lady in white. And I don't know, can't they wear other dresses? Like, do they have to wear white every single time? Why is white so creepy? I don't get it. Why is white a creepy color? I mean, in the Philippines, they believe in a lady in black. Can't they wear like teal or something and still be scary? I mean, vomit green is a scary color. Why can't they wear vomit green? Now I'm just being silly. So my final verdict is I only know what I know. That's all that I know. It's like Popeye. I am what I am, and that's all that I am. Was that Popeye? I don't know. Popeye the Sailor Man. But I know what I know. There's just something to me a little bit suspicious about ladies in white being everywhere when it comes to hauntings. And I think the best thing to do is when going to a haunted location that you want to explore in a safe way, in a respectful way. Let's say you hear about a lady in white. Don't be on the lookout for a lady in white. Now, that's hard to do because let's say you're going to George Washington's home in Mount Vernon. And I don't think it's known to be haunted. I'm not sure. But let's say you want to see the spirit of George Washington. Well, of course you do, because you know that he lived there. But also just being open to whatever happens, not expecting something. And maybe you will see a lady in white. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll see something even bigger and better than a lady in white, or more impressive, more surprising. So I think that this lady in white business, I feel like it limits us. I really want to know what you folks think. Have you ever seen a lady in white? Have you ever seen the spirit of a white lady in white at any location you've been to or anywhere at all? I want to hear your story and what did it look like for you? Did she have long black hair? Did she have pale skin? Was she of darker skin color? Because it seems like it doesn't matter what country it is, there are ladies in white, regardless of the country, regardless of the majority of people and their racial identity in the country. There is a lady in white. The color white is universal for this lady's dress. And they don't mention, like I said in this article, they don't explain the racial identity of the lady in white, but more often than not, it's a pale woman. Not even not even a Caucasian lady. It is a lady who has unnaturally pale skin. That's usually how I've seen it described. I've seen some haunted videos, ghost videos, where they say it's a white lady and the lady looks pale. So have you ever seen this before? I really want to know. And so this Sela wants to know too. She's here. She wants to know. DM me. Send me an email. And I will see you on the next spooky special episode. Happy spooky season. Let's keep it going. Bye. If you have a question or topic you want me to cover on Third Eyesight, head to my website, juanfranciscospirit.com/contact, and send a message my way. If you really enjoyed this episode, leave a review wherever you listen. I'd really appreciate it.